For 6 months, starting in mid-2011, U.S. Navy Lieutenant Commander and spine surgeon Dr. Jason Zook repaired and saved many lives in one of the most dangerous spots on Earth, Kandahar Province in Afghanistan. Dr. Zook, now the director of Blue Ridge Healthcare's new Spine Center, was then the department head of orthopedic surgery and a staff orthopedic surgeon at NATO's Role 3 Hospital at Kandahar Airfield, often focusing on what he called very intense trauma.
I had done my residency training in Chicago and spent time at several level 1 trauma centers during my residency, and I had somewhat foolishly thought I'd seen most of what I needed to see in terms of trauma. Certainly high-speed vehicle collisions and gunshots, stab wounds, things of that nature, but it is really just a completely different ball game completely over there. The level of energy imparted by these blast injuries, high caliber weapons, etc., is just astonishing. It's just really humbling, the amazing injuries that these people sustain.
Dr. Zook operated in a hospital where, despite increasingly severe battlefield injuries, survival rates were quite high.
If you were to come into our hospital with a pulse, your chances of surviving and leaving with a pulse were over 98%, which is amazing. Unfortunately, not everybody was successful in surviving, and those people probably affect you more than anything, in addition to the ones who had forever changed in terms of losing limbs. We have people lose all 4 limbs, their eyesight, genitalia, everything. It is just devastating, the injuries that they sustain.
In Kandahar, Dr. Zook saw seriously wounded servicemen who suffered life-changing injuries, who nevertheless showed great courage and resilience.
A lot of times we see people who are injured and are just begging to be back out in the fight, so to speak, and be back out helping their fellow soldiers out. And it really, I'll tell you what really impacted me more than anything was probably watching how these soldiers who are out in the front lines, who are really putting themselves out there, have to go on and carry on day in, day out. I have just the utmost respect for these people because I had it easy compared to what they had to deal with.
The mission changed Dr. Zook in many ways, as a doctor, as a surgeon, and as a human being.
If spending time in Afghanistan doesn't put life in perspective, quality of life, how you spend your life in perspective, I don't think anything will. I certainly would like to consider myself keeping things in perspective, but like most people, we get caught up in the daily minutiae of things, and certainly 6 months there, you leave there with all 4 limbs and your eyes, and you're ability to interact with the world around you that a lot of people leaving there don't get anymore, or if they leave there at all. And so I think that first and foremost, it really just humbled me as a person just to know how privileged I am to live in this country, and also to have all my faculties and senses about me when I leave there.
On a professional level, Dr. Zook said his service in Afghanistan was an extraordinary training experience that will serve him very well as he starts his new life in Morganton as director of Blue Ridge Healthcare's Spine Center.